tester. I got a little tester for an intro. Would love your opinion on it on the other side. We will make more iterations.
I'm not the bubble. 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 I'm not the bubble.
Little intro action.
I like it, man. I think it's good. So, but you guys are new. Welcome to EOSIO Weekly, the new kids on the blockchain. A couple of media moguls in their own right that have quite a big following, but mostly beyond the centralized scope of EOS. So we're super excited to have them here. They do have some information about EOS for us. But yeah, if you guys are new to us, that is a clip from one of our songs that was put together by yours truly at the top there, Corey, and it released. So it's kind of fun to have you guys here, because one of the things that we actually want to talk about with you guys is your experiences in something I think you did, which was pretty amazing, which was the Bitcoin documentary. So we thought it was fitting to try to drop that in there. But Corey likes to start the show with doing something a little bit special with all of our guests, so I'll let him explain what that is and the background behind it.
Yeah, so we're building a metaverse inside of Minecraft here. It's what we call our cathedral to reason that lives at the middle of it. Anyway, all these monuments are full of people's gratitudes. They just come in world or they watch live, what have you. So what I wanted to do starting the show each weekday is just talk to the guests and find out like what you guys are grateful for this morning. Could be big, could be small, no rules in any way, shape, or form.
Well, hi everyone. Great to be here. I'm Ash. This is Lisa.
Hello.
Gratitude, big thing for us. We start every day with a little gratitude meditation we do. There's a fantastic little YouTube sort of yoga channel we subscribe to, and it does a little 10-minute meditation, because it's hard sometimes, especially the way the world is at the moment, to remember to be grateful, and there is a lot to be grateful for.
Certainly is.
So we often sort of sit there and do that little meditation, and I think really, the more you think about it, the more there is to be grateful for. We're sort of sat here, we're in an industry we love to be part of. We pretty much run our own sort of timescale. We do our show weekly. We're filmmakers. They're always out making sort of interesting things that we want to make. And I think it's easy to forget sort of how much there is to be grateful for, isn't it?
Certainly. You're just so wise. But no, it's true. And it is something that we do quite frequently. And if there's trouble, kind of like if you're having a bad day, it's just then the little things that you're grateful for. Like,
yeah, we even had a little jar of like gratitude things. So when we were in deep lockdown the first time, we wrote on it all the things we were looking forward to doing.
Like going to the hairdresser.
Yeah, just going to the pub, having a meal, going all these tiny little things that you often take for granted. And what we did once the lockdown finished the first time around is we emptied the whole jar out and we're like, right, we're going to go and have a curry. We're going to go and get a coffee, do all the things we couldn't do. And it was fun, wasn't it?
It's really fun. So that was probably a long-winded answer to your question.
I'm so excited that you guys are actually doing that, and hopefully we can get the link to that YouTube meditation. We'll add it to the show notes, because that's a huge thing for us too. I mean, we're obviously really, really lucky as well, right? I mean, getting to actually do this is bananas, but just the ability to kind of orient every conversation with just like a little, what are you guys grateful for? Now, I do have to ask, like, what's something that would fit on like a 10-word thing? Where 3 of those words are Ash and Lisa.
For me, currently, it would be being able to work independently.
Yeah,
I am.
And I think for me, it would be to be able to work doing something I actually enjoy doing. I've done lots of kind of production. I was a professional in this TV and film game, and just did lots of projects that I wasn't really into. But our little web show we do every week, we've been doing for 3 years, and our documentary we did We genuinely were excited to get up every morning and do it with all the fantastic people we've met, you know, all over.
Yeah.
So again, long-winded extension to the answer.
You're not very good at this.
You guys should have a show where you talk for a long time. Right,
That's interesting. That actually couldn't have worked out better.
It couldn't have at all.
So yeah, I think it's really cool to have you guys here. I was surprised by that little, you know, story, and I like it. You know, Corey was my kind of introduction to this, and you know, this is going to live forever inside this world. That's this thing that, you know, is kind of happening now, and there's railroads and monuments being built and all of this, you know, cool stuff. So, you know, please come in sometime and hang out. There's some cool communities we're trying to start. It's, you know, going to be blockchain based, a lot of the things gaming wise. You know, as you know from our title, we're kind of EOSIO Weekly. You guys aren't, and you're more broad. I mean, I definitely recommend getting people, letting people watch the documentary that you guys put out, because it was cool. You guys interviewed some really solid people in the space. But I thought what's interesting is I've been watching you guys for maybe a while. Like, I don't know, you get lost in the crypto void, but you guys are cool. You're kind of a cool on-screen couple, and I like it. And I think for our viewers, there's like a lot of them won't know you, and so I just kind of want to ask, like, you know, can you kind of explain? I don't want to lead you too much, but can you kind of explain like your relationship, your on-screen relationship, your working relationship, your personal relationship? And there's something really cool that you guys did that most other people don't do when they take their relationships to the next level. And I thought it was just kind of.
No, sorry, interrupted.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, we're filmmakers by sort of trade. So I used to run a very big music video company in London, commercials company. Used to do hundreds and hundreds of music videos and stuff. We met sort of like 7 years ago, didn't we? At a music video conference that happened in Ibiza, or Ibiza, as you guys say.
Yeah, I wanted to direct music videos. He was the expert on the panel of producers of music videos.
Yeah, so that's how we met. And yeah, and we've always been interested in doing our own documentary projects. We're doing a series completely separate from sort of blockchain, Life After series of films about classic movies. So we did a film called Life After Flash about the movie Flash Gordon. We followed Sam J. Jones around for 2 years to work out what happened, why the film turned out the way it did, and all the rest of it. We've just released Life After the Navigator. It was about Flight of the Navigator and what happened to his child star and the journey he went on. So we were, you know, deep into documentary stuff, working together.
Yeah, and I think what helps is, I mean, it's, you know, there are positives and there are negatives, but what helps is that neither of us have like the 9-to-5 job where one of us goes, you know, with a little lunchbox at 9 a.m. and goes somewhere until 5 and comes back, and we kind of don't understand what goes on. So I understand why he's always working, or maybe I'm emailing at 2 a.m. And so there is that kind of mutual appreciation for trying to get your own projects off the ground. You know, we are like together a lot of the time.
24/7, baby.
So, you know, it has its ups and downs, but at the end of the day, to have someone that you can kind of feedback on, and he checks treatments for me, and then I'll help him edit something, or, you know, it's kind of, it works really well. And so then the new kids kind of, it was kind of born out of that, really. We were really I've been interested in kind of Bitcoin since way back when, but couldn't ever figure out how to buy it. It was so ridiculously complicated. I remember in like 2015 trying to buy very legal things.
Yeah, obviously. It was beyond me, and nobody sort of had there wasn't, back then it wasn't as easy to find the YouTube channel, how to do it, all that stuff. And then in 2017, we started attending a few events, and we said, we've got to film this. This is this was the birth of the ICO. And we were like, wow. We went to the Dash conference in London, and we met all these people, and we're like, right, we're going to start filming this. We don't know where this journey's going. Most films we make, we kind of know what the beginning, the middle, and the end's kind of going to be. But this one, it was a totally nascent technology. We're like, we're in, we're going for it.
Yeah.
And we spent the next, 2.5 years just literally traveling the world, meeting all these incredible people, trying to get to the bottom of what was going to happen with this ICO. Was it a bubble? Was it going to explode? Is it the most amazing thing ever?
Yeah. But we love the fact that we felt like at the time we were one of the few people, if not the only people, filming from the inside out, because we had seen a lot of kind of very top level glossy, like you might get a half-hour show on Netflix about what is Bitcoin, but it's done by people that don't really understand what Bitcoin is. And so we thought that was kind of a nice little edge that we had for the film.
Yeah, we were trying to do a sort of fear and loathing in cryptocurrency. It's like, okay, we're going in. We don't know what we're doing, but we're going in and we're going to go for it. Come on this journey with us. We don't know what the answer is going to be. We don't even know if we'll get to a conclusion. So the end of the film kind of said, okay, well, that was the ICO boom. Obviously, things have changed. Let's see what happens next. And we've been, the show developed as a result of that. People said to us, why don't you start doing regular weekly content? Because people need to see this stuff regularly. So we started putting out short content bites. Then we were in the Maldives on holiday, weren't we? And you said, why don't we do a show with both of us as a couple? Because there wasn't like a male and female kind of face of it. I'm kind of perhaps a little more technologically into it than you are.
So I get to ask all the questions that maybe the people who aren't as experienced to try and get their head around it might need to ask. So I think it works quite well. And then
you can sometimes question, you'll bring that kind of beginner questioning to it, like, okay, well, why is this? And we can answer it and have that on-screen chemistry. And I think also there was a lot of YouTubers at the time that were just, buy this coin, it's going to the moon, get your Lambo, moon Lambo, moon Lambo. And we were like, there has to be a more intelligent way to do it, to build a sort of magazine-style show. And we wanted to try and bring some high production values. And
But what I enjoyed going to all the events is that I was surprised how many women were in. You had so many women CEOs of different projects and women involved in the projects, but you didn't really see many women on screen talking about it on the channels that we watched. So I kind of like that aspect too, to be involved.
And it's just slowly taken over our life, pretty much. So now it's, it's become, the show's pretty much a full-time thing. We're making our follow-up documentary, which is New Kids on the Blockchain, the Explosion of DeFi. COVID has slightly been troublesome with that, so it's becoming much more of a remote project than traveling around the world, filming like we did before, which we missed. We loved all those shows, all the free swag, all the t-shirts, hats, pens. We used to come back loaded up with just sacks like Father Christmas and stuff, didn't we? So that's kind of, where we got to. We followed EOS, right from the start, or EOS or EOS. We always joked with how everybody calls it different pronunciations. And we, have over the course of it, have met a lot of people from sort of Cypherglass and other things. So it's been one of the projects we've always followed. We recently launched our community sort of board with DWeb, which is obviously EOS based, which is on our website as well, to try and build that community there and give people a chance to earn tokens through doing it, which is really interesting. And we would say blockchain agnostic, but EOS is one of the projects we've sort of followed since the very start. And it was part of, in the documentary, when we were filming with like Rob Finch and all those guys, and Chris Coney, another sort of big fan of EOS, and been following the journey.
Go ahead, Corey, sorry.
I just wanted to, because this is something that we have been focused on as a guiding principle as well. And I loved hearing it from you guys about, really approaching this with a beginner's mind. We all talk about onboarding all the time, right? But like, to give people a real access to this kind of thing, and like Jimmy's an ace at this, right? Like, every time he comes up to a project, he'll write an article about actually how to do it, and that's so critical, right? I mean, because the UX is not sort of streamlined and super slick in the space yet, although that is progressing really, really quickly. So I want to say thank you personally for taking that just wait, and it's kind of more fun too. It's coming from a documentary and documentarian. I can word. It's no problem.
You're nearly there.
So close.
That makes it sound fancier than we are,
right? But you're totally fancy. But no, like that being able to come in and ask questions like that and really dig into things, you're actually getting to the actual value propositions and the way of actually getting this done, as opposed to just Lambo Moon, which is fun, but is perhaps a tad overdone.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going on. I mean, we're not deeply technical blockchain people. Our channel is more for people who are into blockchain, into the idea of it, into crypto, want to get involved. But I'm not going to be able to sit there and take you down the deep sort of tech that somebody like Michael Box Mining or those guys, they're really good on their tech stuff. For me, I understand the principles of blockchain, why it's so powerful. But if we start getting into algorithms and all that kind of crazy stuff, then it's straight over my head, unfortunately.
I resemble that.
On Tuesday, we have different themes every day, and on Tuesday we have Tech Talk. On a Tuesday, we had Yves LaRose last night. We somehow managed to co-opt like 2 hours of his time, which was amazing. But half the time I think I was lost, like some of the levels of some of these people, right? So I like it though. I think what's interesting to me about your dynamic. Sorry, I should lower my voice. It's nighttime and there's people sleeping at my house. But it's kind of interesting to me is like, you guys do this together, right? Like I like Corey, he's cool. I mean, we do this together. It's fun. But like, the other people in our houses, like, they sometimes come into our room and they're just like, what are you doing? Like, what is this magical internet money gaming weird like lifestyle that you've like co-opted? Like, is this because of COVID? Like,
I was trying to explain liquidity mining to someone the other day who had no idea. They were like, well, I was like, oh, I'm mining, I'm doing farming of this. And it was just like literally it was gone. But it's quite hard to explain some of these concepts to people that aren't in the blockchain space.
Yeah, but it does help, like 2 a.m. when the alarm goes off and he runs down with a ledger. I understand why. I'm not going to question it. I'll just make a copy. It's fine.
Yeah. Fun.
Yeah. So tell us about. So I've been playing around with your new D website, new kids on the blockchain. We've been posting articles and relaying them to Twitter as well to try to draw attention to it. But I think it's an interesting concept. So basically, you guys have a coin that is essentially pegged to the US dollar, I believe, on the site. So Corey and I both actually have been, we kind of know our way around socials. We've been working for a lot of different social projects in the EOS space and, talking to them and stuff. So I think what you guys have created is kind of interesting. And I'm kind of curious, number one, like it's pretty new. So there aren't really that many users. I think right now there's only one board. So I guess you guys are hoping that people, more people will come in and create more boards to be able to interact.
Yeah, it's super new at the moment. I mean, we've known Stephen from DWeb for a long time. We looked at doing a project about a year ago, and it was called Creator, which was a similar thing where you created tokens and trying to find a tokenized way to actually earn through content. But they went back to the drawing board and released DWeb recently. And the idea there is essentially that we have this community board where people can sponsor the articles that we're putting up there, and when somebody sponsors it, a portion of the money that's paid to sponsor goes back to the previous person, so it sort of generates income for people getting involved and tries to build a sort of thriving community of people who can earn the stable coin, which is pegged to sort of $1 and can be switched out for EOS, and essentially once that builds and has a momentum going with it, it should be an opportunity for creators to start earning money from producing content there. Because one of the biggest problems as content creators we have is how you monetize the content. Nobody wants to pay for content anymore. We're at a sort of period in time where the idea of trying to sell kind of your content seems to be very difficult now. So you have to find ways to try and find an audience, and probably a narrow audience. You're not looking for broadcast these days. You're looking for narrowcast. You want to find, 10,000 true fans that can be with you on that journey. And the board's only been up and running for 2 or 3 weeks, so it's very early, but we'd encourage people to go on there. We've started posting various things on there, posting various polls. But I guess it's slightly similar to Voice in a way, in the sort of way it works, as in, when you post something, you can sponsor that and a portion of the money goes back to the next person. And the more people sponsor it, the higher the value of the post goes, which pushes the post, up the ecosystem.
Yeah, I like that concept, so I manage way too many social platforms, to be honest. And so like you have something like Publish OX where, they've got an interesting kind of thing where you can tip according to a slider, right? But I would suspect almost everyone just tips the minimum amount so that they get the maximum reward, right? And it becomes like almost almost worse than some of the mainstream platforms like Twitter, where, you know, it's just a plethora of things that you don't like. It becomes like just people putting out content just so that they can get more content. So it's that whole what's that maxim? Quality, not quantity. And I think that's a really big issue, especially with crypto content in the crypto space. So I think that concept I honestly don't know, because I can't use voice because I'm not in a country that it's open to yet. So and so like I think that concept of you know, pushing articles, it seems like it's really interesting. So Corey, I'm wondering if I've never done this, so I might break the internet, but can I try to share the screen here and show you what it looks like? Okay, let's see if this works.
Pushing the bleeding edge of technology here.
I believe in you.
You can do it. We have faith.
Yeah, he's the video guy, man. I'm just the guy who sometimes talks too much.
Oh, here we go. You've done it. You've only gone and done it.
So yeah, so this is this is actually our post from last week. But yeah, you can see it's a really simple interface. It's really cool. You have this message board here, and I guess my assumption is it's running off of very similar to like WordPress. It's got very similar functionalities, and in the toolbar, it's really actually easy to create a post. And you guys got polls over here where you know, is Ethereum going to break 2K before the end of January? Corey, what do you think? Hell yeah, or no? What's Ethereum?
By the end, what's Ethereum? By the end of January. I mean, January's coming up pretty close here, so I'm gonna have to say no.
Okay.
Probably a no from us as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
Actually,
any longer? If it was 2 months, I'd probably change it.
I gotta sign in, but it's okay. But yeah, there's a few really cool, you know, very simple features that people can interact with. And
the idea is we'll get more boards up there. We'll start expanding it, and you know, try and get. We might run some competitions on there as well, and try and use it as a way to engage the community. Also, you can broadcast to the community. You can just go on there, broadcast, and it will send it to everybody's phone or email that's connected to it. So I can just go on there and go, boom, if there's a competition, and it will just immediately broadcast that to everybody, and they'll know that that's happening through that network. So we're still getting our feet wet with it all, but it looks like a fun one. And I think we can.
Yeah. So Corey's mentioned this, you know, like because we put out posts on a variety of different social channels, and every social channel has like a different way of formatting it, right? And like some of them have word caps and things like that, and you know, a few of our favorites in the EOS ecosystem is discussions quite good, because you can just post links. They've got really good optimization for posting links from, you know, all around the blockchain space. Corey is the Chirpian master, I guess, over on Chirp DApp, which is a kind of a Twitter-like platform. I used to work for Tribe as a writer and a publisher, and you know, doing other things for them, kind of a long content form. And I like PublishOX. You know, just because it's on Ethereum doesn't mean we at EOSIO Weekly can't like it. So, as as it is. But we've been thinking about, like, you know, which platforms, you know, to optimize, and I like that function, if that exists, where you can just broadcast it to users. Like, I'm assuming any person that is using the platform can do that. So it'd be kind of cool to maybe implement that, Corey, for our usership. So
it's a fun one. It's a fun. We're planning on having a lot more fun with it, you know, over the next few weeks, and sort of building it up. So it's very early days, but it seems like a really fun way to communicate with the audience.
Yeah, when we should track that too, Jimmy, because when you guys do stuff like that, we'd love to start sharing stuff like that out, right, from, you know, previous guests and stuff like that, and it'll be sort of really interesting to see what you guys are doing too. So we're sort of just getting this show off the ground and kind of deciding how to monetize it, and it's going to be just essential, frankly, to watch kind of what are the current best practices, or even just like what people are playing around with, right? Because I mean, you know, we don't want to kind of get too ingrained or locked into kind of old thinking. So I can't even imagine us doing it, Jimmy, without incorporating some NFT somehow, right? Like it's almost ridiculous to even think about it at this point. But yeah, it should be fun.
NFTs are at the moment, everything we talk about is NFTs. I mean, it just is the hottest thing there is. I mean, I've had an interview yesterday about NFTs on YFDI, and I was speaking to the guys at Bondly about NFTs on that. Speaking to the guys from Pools, they're NFT. Everybody's just gone NFT mad. I mean, there used to be these kind of fun little novelty items, but there seems to be so much utility. You've got quite a cool NFT, haven't you? What is it?
Yeah,
so
I was going to say that you guys have got the coolest NFT ever.
Go on.
So we went to Sedona a couple of years ago, and I thought, if I'm going to ask, you've got to get it sorted first. If I'm going to ask Lisa to marry me, it's going to have to be a blockchain diamond. So this is a Bitmon's blockchain diamond, who I believe are moving to EOS network actually. And it's a series of sort of little kind of, each one's unique. You can kind of move them around, and they all have different clarities and different things on there. So you
can imagine my confusion when a box came out and it was an Apple Watch box. I
thought if we're going to propose, it's got to be a blockchain diamond, right? I mean, we've got to do something.
Fully approve. That's fantastic.
I'm not sure your parents understood it quite well.
I don't think anyone understood, to be honest.
Bitmon's cool. Just it was a fun, and that was one of our first kind of things with NFTs, and they just seem to have now be people using them for functionality, like having discounts locked into them or having earning potential locked in, or it's a really interesting world.
Yeah, that's how we're the Minecraft world that we started out in. We're actually going to be selling land key NFTs to basically grant people rights to build and control certain areas, right? So we've got communities coming in and building things out, and individuals coming in, and like that's why when Jimmy was talking about the railway, each railway plot, and there's hundreds of them now, are going to be NFTs. And if you hold one of these NFTs in your wallet and somebody passes over the railway, you're actually going to get a little bit of wax rewards, and then we're gonna.
That's cool.
Oh yeah. And you actually get wax just for moving around, because we wanted to kind of make the game itself a reward. But the sort of landowners, the people that kind of own the NFTs will earn a little bit just by you passing over the land. And then of course we're gonna have NFTs to increase that value if you hold those, that kind of thing. So yeah, we're trying to
a slight bone to pick with wax, because they were going to come on our show, and I had 3 sets of trying to get them on. And it was all going to happen. And they didn't. And I said, Wax is on this week.
I was really
we were really excited about it. But then they just sort of disappeared on me. So Wax, you were going to be coming on our show, and you didn't. And we were like, where are you?
That's some high level boo. Yeah,
we're way more patience than us. We that's happened to us once, and we're just like, yeah.
Hey, shout out to the NFT army and the lads. Speaking of NFTs.
A couple of things I wanted you to go over, Corey, is maybe I think what they're talking about was kind of cool, like the communities that are essentially kind of going to be set up in the uplift. If you want to tell them about that, it might be something that they're interested in. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I can show you guys. We're actually for people that are running communities in the space. And it was only going to be 10, but I think we kind of ran out. So I'm going to have to build more already. I'm just going to show my screen here. One of the coolest things about the way this works out is we actually have a live map running. So if anybody was around here, you'd actually be able to see them on the Dynamap with the link. So these are going to be the community clusters. All right. So we got Ken. I don't know if you guys have talked to Ken Bozak before. If not,
I haven't spoken to him, but obviously know of him.
Yeah, you should. He's a trip. Anyway, he was the first person we talked about this. The top corner over here, he's going to get the center one, and we're going to have NFTs built out for each one of these little plots, which are actually pretty big. You can build a fair amount just on these little 50 meter plots, and everybody who works in there, whatever, they're going to be earning wax rewards just for hanging out. And the trick is, we wanted to set it up so that whichever community earns the most as a community in any given month will gain control of the center. So you can build some stuff out, you can host a party, you can kind of do whatever you want. And it looks now like, because these ones are spoken for, even these ones that we haven't even finished building out yet. There's probably a couple more. So if you guys are interested, and we haven't really talked about like the full demo for this world's called the Uplift. But yeah, we're actively seeking communities who want to come in and take an active part. And if you do it, then we basically give you all of the NFTs for all these things.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's just a way to sort of
virtual clubhouse.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and like you said, it's a good place to like rally people of like mind around the community. Like, you know, the obviously Minecraft people are being there, but other people who haven't. And there's some cool like things that, you know, are coming out as well. Like there's somewhere in there a giant screen that just plays videos, like YouTube videos.
Okay, for the record, we don't have that fixed yet, but that's currently on our roadmap.
Yeah, and so like really cool stuff. So again, if
cool.
the community is interested, because how this all started for us actually was you know, with Uplift Art and like you said, NFTs and the potential, like thinking about like how NFTs can be used for everything and anything, and why aren't they used, right? Like, and I guess like, yeah, Wax has got its tailored purposes, but on Ethereum, you know, you have this kind of ideology, I think, where like they are starting to be used for real estate and these other like crazy things, right? So I guess maybe that'll be your third documentary. Like after you're finished the DeFi one, you'll probably have to hit up the NFT one. I would imagine that's right.
I'm gonna be literally being wheeled around in a like wheelchair by Lisa, talking about volume 121 of the new kids on the old farts on the blockchain will be by that point, I would imagine.
Oh, maybe. But no, I mean that's about it, isn't it? Like it just changes. Technology now is changing so rapidly. Like we didn't expect to be doing a DeFi one. When we finished, we were like, get a glass of wine, put our feet up, great. You know, that was that one. And then it just kind of unfolds. So we laugh about it now, but we probably will be here in like 5 years' time.
Yeah, exactly. And also 1 year in blockchain seems to be like, it's like dog years, 7 years in sort of normal time.
Yes.
So I think there's so much happens in like 1 year. We look back at the last year of what we've done. I mean, it's just insane, isn't it? It's I mean, we're editing show 146 or something this week's show.
And we sit around and go, remember the days of the ICOs back in
back in the 24 months ago.
I know.
Yes, like looking wistfully back 2 years
like
ago.
Some grandma talking to her grandkids.
But it's an exciting time to be in the space again. We were building the channel through the really hard bear years. And there was a lot of weeks where we just thought, why are we doing this? You know, we've always wanted the show to be like 4K, high quality TV. You know, it's 3 or 4 days work a week to put the show together, planning who we're going to filming them, all the editing, all the compositing. And there was a lot of times in 2018 where we looked at each other each week and went, can we do another one of these?
We looked into a sea of red.
Yeah, and just a sea of people who just didn't seem to care anymore. The moment for me was we were in Vegas and I had a Bitcoin sort of hoodie on, and somebody stopped me and went, "Oh, Bitcoin, isn't that all over, man?" And I just thought, oh man, I don't want to hear that right now. So that was the general sort of public's perception of it late 2018, I think.
Yeah, I think and I've seen this because I've been around since like 2016, 2017 myself, sort of in this space. And I'm at the point now where like, unless you've gone through a full crypto winter, just fuck you.
That's great. Yeah. If you haven't done a crypto winter, fuck you.
Well,
exactly. Like your opinion is literally worthless. You know, and call us when you've gone through a crypto winter and you built the whole time, even a little bit. Like I have so much respect for people that got in, see the vision, you know, longitudinally, like as in more than 2 years down the road, and more than just the Lambo stuff to the actual value proposition underneath this stuff. So thank you guys for not quitting, and you deserve all of the awesomeness that you're going to accrue in this, crypto summer.
Thank you.
Remind me, we might have to co-op that and change like change crypto to EOS and like make a T-shirt out of it.
Right? Yeah, I mean that's
What was that? I like that.
I was going to say very early on in the journey, someone said to us, maybe it was Big Spear, said unless you, the moment you lose 80% of your entire portfolio, that's when you're a true crypto. And I think that was when we were,
when we were riding high.
I was like,
I don't know.
Who loses 80%? And then
cut to 95% loss later.
6 months later, you're like, oh.
approved.
Yeah, it was either Bix Weir or Jason, one of those guys. Yeah, that was
Well, I mean,
it's
80%. That's good. You're holding Bitcoin, because if it wasn't Bitcoin, it would have been 97.
Well, to be honest, it was a lot of alts, so it probably was 97. I mean, we were deep into alts because we were going to every show every week, filming everybody, and we were getting carried away just buying every alt that everybody was telling us was the magic beans of the future as well. So at one point, we had about 250 coins each, and I've got stuff in there now. I don't even know what it was.
Only because you can't sell it.
Yes, that's true, because it's
I've got a few kicking around.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, the memories.
So to go back a little bit, that's one thing. If any of our viewers haven't watched it, the links in this description. It'll be in our roundup post that we do. But definitely go check out your weekly channel, because I didn't realize it took 3 days. Like, I knew it took some time, because I didn't realize the backstory was in depth as it was, but your actual production level of your show is top notch. Like, it's brilliant. Like, Corey and I like just hanging out with people and talking, but it's a really well put together show. So I would suggest, if you haven't seen it, and you're interested in, broader crypto concepts, that anyone watching this, go subscribe to the YouTube channel and check it out, and check out the board as well, because I think what you guys do is really amazing, and I don't want to spoil it, but there's like cool things playing inside of things and on things inside of the video, and it's really well done, and it's really unique in the crypto space to see that level of production on a YouTube channel.
That's what we actually really liked, is to be documentary makers with a YouTube channel, as opposed to YouTubers who happen to make a documentary. So we kind of have that production level in us anyway, and it does always make me laugh. Like, every week Ash is like, this is the most complicated one yet. And I was like, you literally say that.
Yes, it's like, this week shows 45 minutes and I've got 12 screens playing 4K. And she's like, what are you doing? Why don't you just simplify it? And I'm like, no, I've got to keep raising the bar. Yeah. We worked out that we produced something like 150 hours of 4K broadcast content this year. Wow. And it is insane. But I think once you have a certain bench level that you're trying to hit, we just didn't. The only problem we have is, because it takes quite a long time to produce the show, we can't be as timely as some people are. So some people can just jump on like this now and go, this is happening right now. Bitcoin's at 31,000 or whatever. We might say that. By the time the show goes out, it might be 4,000 or 140,000.
We try and do the market roundup on the day that it goes out, but everything else does take some time.
So that's the only downside to doing that level of production, is every Friday is our edit day. We shoot the videos over the course of the week. We do the last interview on a Thursday, and the last day of editing is Friday. Because it's a 4K show, it's normally like 8 gig. That then has to go up to YouTube. Then on Saturday, we do the market roundup as quickly as we can, so we're as current as we can.
And we're still together.
But it was, we recently were lucky enough to go to the Maldives again before the lockdown happened. And we did our show from a beach in the Maldives, and we were sat there talking of gratitude again. Just saying, how lucky are we?
Yeah, in the same spot that we had come up with doing a YouTube show.
Yeah, in the exact same place that we said we should do it. We went back to the Maldives and said, we'll sit there and have a drink at the spot we said we'd do the show, and we'll do the show from there. So we actually did the show, sat there on this beautiful beach, and we just thought, gratitude moment. Just, we have these little snapshots where we go snapshot gratitude moment, and we remember that exact moment.
It's cooler than it sounds.
No. I don't know. It sounds really, really cool. Even just obviously, the gratitude is the organizing principle of the metaverse that we're trying to create, right? Like, it's not going to be the only tenet, but it's the central tenet, the central principle that we're starting with. And so just to hear that that's incorporated in your guys' life is just really awesome to hear. Because that, and no matter where you are in life, I think, gratitude can be a legitimate superpower. It starts rewiring your brain so that you see the positive more and more and more wherever you happen to be. Right now, granted, if you're making a show in the Maldives, you're pretty fucking good, right? That's that's some high level stuff right there. But it's great to hear, and you guys are obviously an awesome. I'm just gonna start calling you a power couple, because anything else would be ridiculous. I'm doing it. This is happening now. I'm sorry. But yeah, no, and I can't wait to check out more of your guys' content, because I mean, obviously, you see the production quality of ours is you know,
This is good, man. I'll tell you, when it started, I just thought wherever that is, I want to be there. It looks really exciting. So
well, that's the uplift. We would love to invite you guys. And Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know how that time would work out for you guys, but every week we gather in that cathedral and have a little moment of silence during the sunrise. Everybody puts gratitudes up on the thing. We actually do it live on YouTube. And we'd be
we'll come and do that with you. It's you've got to find. It's easy to have gratitude moments when you're in the Maldives on the beach, but sometimes you've got to find one for I had a pot noodle earlier. It was delicious, and I was like, "This is lovely." The little tiny things. There's hundreds of them every day if you find them. Yeah. And the more you find, the more there are.
And one thing we have found, apart from things like with the jar, where it becomes a bit more physical, where you can just even the tiny things like having a coffee. If we ever can't sleep and we're both awake at like 3 a.m., we'll do gratitudes, and it kind of sends us back.
Yeah, sends us back to sleep in a good frame of mind. If ever I can't sleep, I'll just lie there and go, "Oh, okay, what am I grateful for?" And it's like counting sheep. But counting gratitudes. So
that's powerful stuff. That's good stuff. Yeah. So man, I'll definitely get you guys an invite to come and join the stream, because I know everybody that comes that's part of that growing community would love you guys anyway. So it'd be good to make some introductions. And if you want to get in world, get Minecraft Java. Costs $25. Has to be Minecraft Java to work, but I would totally recommend actually doing it in the game as well as on the stream with us, because it's just there's a legitimate a place layer to it when you're actually in there, and when you're actually doing the gratitude ceremony with other people. Like I'm hanging out with family now that I haven't hung out with in probably a decade, because I live down in the States now. They're up in Canada, and I'm actually developing a relationship with my nephew Leon, who's an 8-year-old Minecraft nut, and it's become this really, really beautiful thing. And of course, we're going to make a big, Decentraland freaking, Minecraft cryptocurrency, behemoth out of NFTs. Like all of that is going to happen. But at the center of it, Sunday mornings, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we just get everybody together to be grateful. And it's been really cool. I can't wait to share that with you guys. It would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, fucking show over. Just kidding. Jimmy, what else you got?
No, I think I don't have any questions. Like we said, we'll roll with the flow, and I'm a little bit blown away, to be honest. Like I knew stuff, but I didn't know that much stuff. So yeah, thanks for coming on and sharing with the community. I think where a lot of this started, kind of where Corey and I met, officially kind of met, is through Uplift Art, and with what was happening with Uplift Art, we were working towards. I'm a permaculturalist, actually, kind of. I wear many hats, but one of my things is permaculturalist. You're from England, so you might know what that is, kind of. But it's self-sustainability. It's design that's optimized towards growth and potential, instead of just taking things. There's varying degrees. Like one of the things I've always admired about England is the whole kitchen garden culture. I mean, it still exists there. There's restaurants. So one of my best friends, actually, he owns a restaurant downtown London, basically, that's all organic. Everything's grown, put together in this almost caring way that we don't always get in other places in the world. I say that sitting in Japan, and that is still a thing in Japan, but in a lot of countries it's not, right? And so we got into this idea of optimizing the ability to utilize blockchain and do something good with charity. And that was kind of where the first NFT on the blockchain as a music video was born. And then the second one, the Bitcoin Anthem, which Corey had a very, very, very large part in it, was kind of done. And I just keep listening to you guys. Maybe we should stop the show and then restart it again, because I don't want to give this away. But I could totally see you guys putting the first documentary on a blockchain. That would be really cool, actually, as an NFT. I mean, imagine that. Imagine if you carved it up. So I guess that's my question. What kind of other ideas do you guys have, or that you're working towards in the blockchain space, new things that have never been done before? Because like you said, you've accomplished a lot of them already. So do you have any future exciting things that you want to inform us about or tell us about, or
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's all about, you know, documenting this incredible space. Okay. And one of the biggest things that we want to try and get to is marrying that distribution with blockchain as well. So we've looked at a number of different blockchain sort of distribution methods for our content, but the ideal scenario would be that we make the content, it's on the blockchain, and NFT tie into it. That would be incredible. The only problem with the documentaries we make, because they're feature length, is they're like a 2-year commitment normally. So what I'd also like to be looking at doing is kind of more bite-sized content that could be NFT'd up in some way as well. Ultimately for us, we just want to get to as wide an audience as we can, you know, build up our audience of like-minded people, and try and deliver the most interesting content, right? I mean, that's the thing, go where the story is, you know, and the last year or so, the story's been DeFi, so we've been deep into that. We've become known as a bit of a DeFi channel. We didn't deliberately do that. It's just we started following a lot of DeFi projects. We started following a lot of NFT projects over the last 6 months or so. And it's just a case of riding the wave of this zeitgeist, really, and just kind of going all the way with it. But if we can find a way to tie the distribution of it into the technology itself, then that would become...
We had been looking at a distribution company that was in Scandinavia for the documentary. But it wasn't quite right. It was very early days for it, and it felt like it was crowdfunding just with a token spin. But the reality is that you're then crowdfunding to people that don't understand how to tokenize something, or, you know, what do I do with this token when I, you know, and it wasn't quite right at the time. And so that's definitely something we were looking at, because we love the idea of being the first blockchain documentary that's on the blockchain,
about the blockchain. You know. But in the end, really, we wanted to we decided to give the documentary away. So we were just like, okay, we want people, we want it to be seen. We want it to be seen, and we've shared little snippets of the journey throughout the sort of 2-year process we were making it. So we just thought, we'll give it away. It's not about monetizing it. We'll give it away. And our journey has become really more now about our channel. We're lucky enough to have sponsors. So we have a number of sponsors that we're very transparent about, that, you know, have a headline sponsor and a few sponsored slots. That allows us to actually cover our costs. We're not greedy, you know, we're just looking, as long as we can produce the content regularly. The byproduct of that is we get exposed to fantastic projects that we ultimately get the chance to invest in. So that's the really good thing, is it's a secondary form of income, but we get exposed to that. And that's been really, you know, again, I have this way of thinking, is if you actually do something that's good and people like it, eventually money will come from it somehow. A lot of people go looking for, where's the money in this? How can I make money from this? But if you actually make something that people want and people enjoy it, usually there's a byproduct of money somewhere from it. So we kind of set about to do it in that way, really.
We had that whole, from watching The Social Network, that scene, it always comes back to me. We're at the table and he's like, we don't even know what it is yet.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm trying to sell advertising.
That's how we started the channel. We were like, let's just see what happens with it. And, you know, things will happen if it's meant to be, as long as we're doing what we want to do and what interests us, because then that will show through with all the work we do. But
that's not to say it wasn't hard, because like we were saying before, there were many times in 2018 we nearly gave up. And it's like with YouTube channels especially, is an enormous amount of work, and then one drop comes out the tap, and then a couple of drops come. But most people give up before the first drops come, because so much work needs to be given without any return for such a long time that most 95% of people, I think, give up. So we kind of doggedly pursued it. And
well, it was while we were doing the Flash documentary. Every time I was ready to like throw it all out, Ash would come in and go, like, Zen, the moment that you want to quit is the moment it's all going to change around. Stick with it. And so after that, I would come into him every second day and go, the moment you want to throw the towel is the moment it's going to pick up, so stick with it.
And that's so huge, because we've been doing the gratitude ceremony for almost a year. Like the cathedral that you guys saw is actually 2.0. 1.0 is full, right? Like there's gratitude signs literally all over the monuments and all over the walls, and like we clearly had to get out of there and build a new one. But we almost stopped doing that, I'm going to say, a dozen times over the last year and a half, just because it was just a few of us. It doesn't really matter. And no. And then, you know, doing that, I mean, one of our biggest partners in the space, the reason why he wants to help build the Uplift as, you know, as a company, as an entity, is because he always wanted to see that sort of secular thing where people could come in and experience gratitude and fellowship, and he just didn't build it. And then here are these weirdos building it in Minecraft. He's like, all right, cool. So you know, I cannot like just kind of, I want to triple down on that to anybody paying attention to this. What you guys are saying about like that second that you want to quit, just keep going. If you believe in it, don't stop. And and we didn't even really like, I could never have imagined, literally could not have imagined where the Uplift idea would go compared to just, us gathering in that space and doing the little ceremony or whatever. And a lot of it is because we sat down with, between what I was doing before and what I started doing with Jimmy, exactly to your other point, sitting down with all these titans in the space, a bunch of different games, a bunch of different NFT projects, learning. And then suddenly I realized like all the pieces for doing, a Minecraft land metaverse are sitting right in front of me right now. And if I hadn't talked to all those people, it wouldn't have happened. Like I don't know that I necessarily would have seen it to the level that we're building it out now. Right?
Well, it's, that whole phrase, everything happens for a reason. And then you get to the point where you finally see what the reason is. And it's a long journey to get there, and you don't, you're not aware of it at the time. But
there's that little cartoon as well that I showed you. There's a cartoon of a miner like digging through this really long tunnel, and he's just about to give up, and there's like an inch gap between diamonds and gold and everything on the other side. And this analogy of just most people along that journey will have given up so many times, but sometimes when you're this close to it, that's the point you want to give up the most. And it takes like Herculean effort sometimes to kind of just swing the pickaxe one more time to push that analogy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been a tough year, and coming up a year and a bit for everyone at the moment. So it's, trying to things like what you're doing is great, because then you can feed off the positivity of other people, and it doesn't feel so isolating. And and it is kind of the year that everyone has to kind of pull together with it all, which I think 100%. Is really nice what everyone's doing.
Yeah, on a personal note, but I don't get personal so often. I'm not really good. I'm not really sure why you're laughing, but anyway, I'm not really good like in front of the camera. Like I'm the least photogenic person that you'll ever meet, which is crazy, because if I'm not looking at the camera, I'm almost a model. I feel
he's clearly with that hairdo. How could you not be? I do have bad news. I have another show in 5 minutes, so we do have to wrap it up. Yeah, Jimmy, finish your point. And guys, thank you so much for coming on. And I'm gonna be blowing up your DMs to get you invites to Sunday. And obviously, we would love to do this with you guys more often anyway. So that's it for me.
Yeah, it's a real pleasure to chat. Real pleasure to chat. And just anytime, hook us up, hook up the new kids, and we'll come and chat. We'll talk gratitude and more.
Yeah, so that kind of goes back to what I wanted to say is like, before I jumped on the show, we jumped on the show a couple minutes before you guys. Corey's like, "How are you?" And I'm like, "Oh man, I'm okay," but I'm like, I need a detox from like, negative crypto. And then having you guys walk in here and do this like beam of positivity, Corey always says about the Uplift, he's like, it might seem silly, but after you get into it, after you get into that routine, which you guys probably have the same thing, right? Like it becomes like a self-fulfilling, prophecy in a way. You just stop, you take a step back, you realize what you're thankful for, you realize, that you're doing something that you love, and you can choose to surround yourself with people who are of like mind. I mean, so yeah, thank you for coming on today and like, fixing my day. It's really late here. It's almost tomorrow, but like my day is fixed. Like all of the stuff I had to deal with today, just seeing that there's other people out there in the world of like mind that are, working hard, doing what they love, but most importantly, thankful for where they are, no matter all of the, I'm long-winded because I don't want to swear, because I don't want to ruin it here, but no matter all of the bad stuff that's like happened, right? And you guys are amazing. So like Corey said, like, we would love to have you back. Our plan isn't just to interview people and forget about them. Our plan is to like make a network, and get people on, on a semi-regular basis. I think you guys understand that because you have that with your own show, certain people that your viewers can build connection with. So whether it's bi-quarterly, whether it's, monthly, bi-monthly, like whatever, please come back and please share your wisdom, number one, but number two, and most importantly, your positivity with all of our viewers and help to uplift us all in a way, like, and make the world a better place, because you guys are awesome.
We'll get you on our show. You can come on our show at some point as well. So we'll do a hands across the oceans the other way.
Would love it. Well, you 2 hands across 2 oceans, actually.
That's
So many oceans, all of the oceans. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Yeah, I Jimmy, good find, man. He was really, really excited to have you guys on, and now I know exactly why. So we'll be back tomorrow. Who's on tomorrow, Jimmy?
Tomorrow we have our regular weekly update, and we're gonna totally geek out because we're as always, check the post that we write with all the updates for EOSIO Weekly, which we rarely talk about. Tomorrow, we're going to have a nice surprise from Bonds, and we're going to do some cool stuff with our uplifter team, the uplifters on the prospectors Boomtown game, and we're going to show hopefully you guys how to make some tools, how to do some fun stuff, how to find our location that's way out there in the boonies that somebody decided to choose. So we'll see you all tomorrow, and it's just going to be a chill day with Bonds and a basic Bonds learning day, basically.
Cool. That'll be good. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys again for coming on, and we'll talk to you guys again very, very soon.
Bye.
Take care.
What if we could turn this song into a school and change hundreds of lives forever?
There's no tension in solace. There's no way that this pattern could do any harm.